part 2. Let's finish up. Let's go to Earth's Creation. Interesting work from Australia. This artist was an Aboriginal woman who did a lot of traditional Aborigine art. This is like the earth and seeds, and she does this one here, and it looks like a Jackson Pollock, an abstract work. So this is Earth's Creation. It's abstract, but it's also about the green and about the rainy season of the Aborigines. And this woman became very, very famous and very wealthy, and she became a successful abstract artist and capturing the rainy season of Aboriginal Africa. She was compared to water lilies by Monet. All right, corned beef was about the spam and canned food that was the bad diet that had replaced the organic food of Polynesia. Rebellious Silence from the Woman of Allah series is an Iranian work. This woman had to leave her country, and she's exploring how women are treated in Iran. And what happened was they were modern, but then they went back kind of to more traditional. So here she has the traditional attire, but looks back and has a weapon and is powerful. And on her face was poetry, not the Quran, but poetry. And this was really exploring the way women were treated in Iran, and even though she was not in the country anymore. All right, Stadia 2. This looks like a stadium, and it's got flags and symbols and flags of countries and symbols of corporations. This is like a modern view of the world with symbols of countries and corporations. The stadium is a place where people gather, so it's good and bad, joyful, but also could be a place of terrorism. It's like the world itself. She uses symbols of countries, and she also uses like Malevich abstraction symbols, because Malevich was into utopia. This swirls, and it almost is the sense of our modern world, the active, interconnected modern world, which is good and bad together, good and bad. Okay, Shibboleth. This is about immigrants in Europe, and it is the work is a crack through the museum. He cracked it and then fixed it later. And Shibboleth is a reference to like outsider, someone who's not one of us. And in Europe, there's a big problem. The immigrants don't feel connected. So this is like the separation between the immigrants and the people of Europe. All right, now some American works that the first one is Horn Players by Basquiat. He was a tagger, and then he became a successful artist. And his works celebrate Black culture. And this one is about jazz, and he has words and images. And this is about great jazz musicians. Also, jazz was of Black culture, and it's a great achievement. He's celebrating Black culture here. Jazz is also free. His art is free. That's that. All right. Dancing at the Louvre, Faith Ringgold, this was called Breaking the Rules. They're dancing here and breaking the rules. This is about Faith's identity and attempt to make it as an artist, as a Black woman in a world dominated by white men. Also, it's about doing something different, breaking the rules. Also, it's made on a quilt, and the quilt connects to Black culture in America and in Africa, where the women would sit around the quilt, and it was a women's communal activity. She was also into stereotypes. Speaking of stereotypes, Darkytown Rebellion. Kara Walker takes cutouts of Blacks from Black history in America. Some are very brutal and scary, and she shoots them on the wall. Because they're a cutout, they're not the full picture. It's like a stereotype. She's presenting stereotypes about Blacks. She was interested in how Blacks were portrayed in books in the past, in art in the past. And I think she's asking us to explore the way we view Blacks and issues of racism in our culture. No Crying at the Barbershop is about masculinity, because barbershops are where the men hang out. And this is really exploring Hispanic masculinity and questioning it. It's not just celebrating it, it's really questioning what is a good man. He was a Puerto Rican artist in New York. Trade is a Native American work. It's got the icon mascot. It's the way Native Americans are put as mascots and trinkets, but it's also got the canoe, and it also has kind of an artsy background. It references Rauschenberg that put objects on there. This is really exploring stereotype, and it's a Native American work. All right. I think, are we done? I think we're done. Wow, that was short. Okay, I think that's a wrap.